Hey, buddy. How's your Max Fun Drive going?
It's going great, and I'm really excited that we're rolling out our second episode of Max Fun Drive right now.
Oh, me too. People of the world, we've had two really great killer blockbuster episodes for the Max Fun Drive. You may have heard our first one last week when we interviewed Andy Richter and we talked about the greatest invention of the last 100 years. Today we have one of the funniest women working in comedy today, one of the funniest people working in the world at any job. Mindy Sterling is our guest today.
Yeah.
She's so much fun. We love her so much. We had a great time with her at Pensacon, which was where we met her. And she was super game to come do the show. So we had a really fun time recording with her.
Yeah, and the reason why we're able to do episodes like this and travel to different places and meet all these people is because of the support of listeners like you. That's what Max Fun Drive is all about. So we're gonna be back during the actual episode to tell you more about the drive. But for now, enjoy this episode of We Got This with Mark and Hal.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, Uber versus Lyft versus taxis.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hey, Hal.
Mark, hello.
It's great to see you, as always.
Welcome to my home.
Thank you. You have a lovely home.
Thank you.
And made lovelier by our guest today.
What?
That's
Who is
right.
that?
Oh, my gosh.
I'll give you one guess and a mirror.
Oh my gosh, stop.
It's Mindy Sterling, everybody.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Mindy.
Hi, Mark. Hi, Hal.
I have to say this. I hope this is not weird, but I was talking to my father, and my mother.
Did I do him?
who were all fans of yours. We were all fans of
Oh,
yours.
thank you.
My mother's no longer with us, but I called my father. I was like, Mindy Sterling is coming over to my home, and I know Mom would have loved that.
Oh, God. Is she a Jew?
Yes.
Then that's-
we're all
that's the reason.
I'm a purebred Jew.
All
I tell by the
Jews love
ketubah
Mindy
up on the
Sterling.
All
wall.
the Jews love me.
The
Yes.
Jews love Mindy.
And I'm not very Jewish.
No, well,
Who is nowadays?
Can you read that poster that is is in Hebrew on the wall?
See, she knows.
Oh, good.
No, but I did notice there was some kind of a Shabbos wine glass. I don't know.
Yeah.
My wife, the Southern Presbyterian, was the one who pushed the hardest to have Jewish. She was like, I really want to have I can't remember the name of the tent that we held up. The thing you hold up.
Chuppah?
The chuppah. There you
yeah.
go.
She was like, I really want to have a chuppah and I want to step on the glass. It's like,
Wait,
really
this was
important
when
to
you
have
got
this stuff. When we
married.
got
She
married.
really, did she convert?
No, we did.
No, she'd just seen Fiddler.
It was very, she
She just wanted, and is someone going to sing Sunrise Sunset?
Yes, it's going to be a fun party.
Will Jackie Mason show up? No, it was very, she pushed to have that in because I wasn't raised. It was more cultural than religious.
Yes, same
Is that
here.
same with you?
Yeah, totally.
Are you from Southern California? No, you're from Miami.
I'm from Miami. Yes.
Okay.
I was born in New Jersey.
All right.
In Patterson, New Jersey, but I was very, very young when we left, so I have no memory of it, and then was raised in Miami, Florida.
That's so funny because that's the path for East Coast Jews.
Yeah.
Like I'm from Philadelphia, and it was you start in the Northeast, then you move out to the suburbs,
Yes.
then you retire to Fort Lauderdale or Miami.
Yes.
So you got a head start.
Yes. So I still have family in the Hollywood area that I'm going back to see next month. So, but I never been to any of my reunions.
Right.
Did you ever go to?
I loved my reunion.
I haven't. I would like to go, but I have not.
I went to my 20th recently. It was wonderful.
For some reason, I have a really bad memory. It's kind of, everyone knows that. So I'm always afraid that I'm just not going to remember people when they come up to me and go, remember when we, I don't want to get, I'll be embarrassed to go.
Sure.
I don't. And then if I say I do, then I'm feeling, I'm so, I'm so not sincere. And no, I just never want to.
I'll tell you, the best thing about my 20th high school reunion, name tags. Everyone had name tags that had their picture.
Oh, when they were.
Everybody had their high school senior yearbook photo
like
on the name tag.
a living game of Guess Who.
Yeah. So everyone that you walk up
Yes.
to, the first thing you do is squint at their chest for a minute. You're like, oh, hey, good to see you.
But
Mike.
still, I have to remember, because a lot of people remember. Oh, remember in Mrs. Wahlberg's class?
Right.
No, I don't remember her at all. I mean, I really It's like my memory's just shot to hell.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's drugs.
Well, you know what?
I don't
You're
know
an
if it's
improviser.
age. I don't know if it's
You
but
live in the moment.
Yeah, I'm much better with that than having me memorize anything.
Yes.
Thank goodness right now.
Well, I have a name you will not forget. I don't
Okay.
think any of us will. That's
What?
the person who suggested this topic. Today we're talking about Uber versus Lyft versus taxi.
Yes.
And the person who suggested this is the name that they gave us. I hope this is real. Frank Doodle Willis. And there are no quotation marks.
Did you look it up?
Oh, I'm going to do that right now.
Oh, honey, I would look at. I go right to Facebook.
We're going to Google.
Oh yeah, Doodle Willis. Like, do
Doodle-
you think that
Google
that came
Doodle
out of-
Willis.
He was always just drawing in school, and it was like, Doodle is my middle name.
Either that or it really is somebody's name, and somebody thought, oh my God, how horrible for your family. Can you see it?
I'm going to imagine that Frank Doodle Willis is actually this drawing of Bruce Willis from the movie Red. I'm going to assume that's what Frank looks
Oh my
like.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's like a colored pencil drawing.
my
Yeah,
God.
it looks like Bruce Willis is playing Eisenhower.
Yes.
Just judging because of the gray on the temple. But there you go.
You didn't find it?
I just looked up Frank Doodle Willis and let it take me where it would.
Yeah, and you got a very frank Bruce Willis doodle.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was severely frank. So,
You're going to get an email from him now after all of this.
Probably.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We want to know. Just Frank, we just need to know.
Yeah, this is me, Frank Doodle Willis.
Yeah.
I wanted
Is
you to
that
know. I'm busy commanding the army and dealing with who else was in Red? Morgan Freeman, Helen Mirren, and somebody else.
I don't
remember
I don't
who
think
the
I
other
saw
one
it.
was.
It's for Alan Arkin.
There you go.
Wasn't Sly Stallone in it?
Sly Stallone was probably there too.
But there's a group of them that
there's
have done.
There's
what
the
is the one?
Expendables movies.
Yeah, that's it.
Where it's
Right.
just all of the great 80s action heroes.
And Terry Crews.
And Terry Crews.
Yeah.
Those movies are fun. Those movies know exactly what they are.
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah, they're like,
there
oh,
is
you
an
like explosions?
audience for them. Yeah, and I'm assuming they're all men.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, it seems, are the men that have that mentality of, hey, remember when America was awesome?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of
Totally.
They're lawyers and accountants who ride motorcycles on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
but the big motorcycles that have like stereos and windshields and four doors.
That's why they make them.
Fiestas? Ford Fiestas? Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Those Ford Fiesta gangs.
Oh my God. Well, God love Frank.
Yeah. You gave us a couple of topics off of our list, but this was
I
one
was
of them.
telling you a little while ago, I was incredibly overwhelmed by the list.
Yes.
Because then it said, I think it was like 230, and then it said for more. And I tried to get more, and I could not get more. So I don't know what happened. It's like, stop.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of very similar, very repeatable things that I thought. But there's something about the best of something that, I just got me like a little, like verklempt. And, so then I thought, and then of course I thought of my own. That I wrote you back, oh, we could do this and we could do this. Because then I started thinking of things and I went, no, they don't want yours. They want somebody else's.
No, I love yours.
No, we love yours too.
So I thought Ross and TJ Maxx, because I was just at Ross yesterday and thought, this is why I don't like
TJ
Ross.
Maxx.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Sure.
Marshall's.
Marshall's.
Which is
Oh,
TJ
yeah.
Maxx.
Right.
But much better than Ross.
Marshall, I mean,
I like
Ross,
Marshalls.
I feel like Ross, they don't even, when somebody just throws something on the floor,
They leave it
don't
there.
bother picking
No,
it up.
not at all.
No. At Marshall's, they'll actually pick it up and say, hey, this was dropped on the floor. Let's not make this place look like,
Yes.
a
But I
tornado
also
hit it.
I think Ross is in like ickier places, like your ickier areas.
Uh-huh.
Marshalls and TG Maxx, maybe I'm wrong, have a little bit more style. I don't know, but
Yeah, Ross is at the dodgy end of Hollywood.
Yeah, or
Marshall's is in Glendale.
yeah.
In the,
So
like,
I don't know.
swanky part.
I've just noticed that, but yeah, I think I do like Marshalls, but I really like Home Goods.
Oh,
been to
Home Goods
Home
is
Goods.
great. But you have to get lucky. You have to
Yes,
go
you
in
do.
saying, I'm looking for a couch, and they'll have 3, and you better hope that one
Or
what
you
want
have
is
to
one of the
literally
3.
go every other day. or every week, I mean,
Do you
it's
go
wait.
often? Are you there?
not often, but when I'm thinking of something like, I want a throw rug or I need a side table or, I will go in there and I really love their stuff. I love it.
It's good stuff.
And I get bored. I know we're going completely off the track.
No,
but I get bored in my apartment. So I'm constantly replacing things and moving things around. Yeah. And I will buy a throw rug and then, and I'll go, look, it was, $50. So it only lasts for like 3 months. I'll throw it away and get another one.
But it makes it feel new.
But it's like if you painted your walls, it would look like an entirely different place, which is what I need to do next.
Yeah.
But I do get a little, I like buying little tchotchke things. Yeah. Like that.
So, do you?
Wasn't this a good subject, everyone?
Apparently, we're not talking about Doodle's topic.
I mean, I kind of want to keep going with this, but
we can keep going.
We can do both.
We can do both.
Sure.
I want to. What made you choose Uber, Lyft, or taxi? That one in particular.
Okay.
What stood out?
Okay, so I have used all three.
Mm-hmm.
I just recently got a Lyft account because everybody was telling me to get a Lyft account, which I don't know if I've used yet. But the reason why I got it was I was using Uber, and my son uses Uber and when he goes to work and stuff. So, and that Uber was like, I think the first one that came out. Am I right?
2009 Uber came out.
Okay. So Uber was like, so we, right before Lyft came out or, at some point. So we did Uber for a while and then I don't know, this was a couple months ago. I was coming back from someplace. I was at LAX.
Right.
And I called an Uber and it said, now I am so close. I'm 20 minutes away from, And the surge prices and stuff, which I think I think that's insane. I think it's, there's somebody is cheating and being greedy because they talk about, the surge prices are because we don't have that many drivers in your area, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Ostensibly.
That is, I don't believe it. I just don't buy. There's so many people that are driving.
Yeah.
And so it was $66 for a $25, probably $30 tops. Okay. Yeah. I was livid. And when you write to Uber, you can't really talk to anybody. No. Okay. We know that. So, I wrote to them and I said, this is insane. You cannot even justify this. This is so off the map. And of course it was like, well, surge prices and da-da-da-da. And somebody said, try Lyft next time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back another time recently and I chose not to do Lyft or Uber and I took a taxi. And can I just tell you, it was cheaper. It was like $40.
Yeah. It's a lot cheaper.
So something's wrong that Uber is surge or not surge. No, it's not okay.
So originally though, Uber and then Lyft were like the cheaper alternative to taxi, and they came faster. I mean, I remember beforehand calling a cab and to go to the airport, and it would be like 20 minutes. Because we don't live, LA is a different city than New York. Is a cab every 10 seconds.
Nobody was a passenger you weren't a passenger going a place in a car in Los Angeles until Uber.
Right.
Like for the longest time, living in Los Angeles, it was you just drove or you got a buddy to drive and you'd call a cab company and wake up the dispatcher and they'd be like, oh, yeah, sure. We have taxis. It was just not a thing that anyone ever did. But once that became a thing where Uber was, oh yeah, by the way, it's perfectly fine to ride in the back of a car and go to a place. But I think part of it is that, at least for me, because there were times in Los Angeles when I didn't have a car before Uber existed.
Right.
And a taxi, because everything's so spread out.
Right.
Because Los Angeles is such a big, vast space. And a lot of places, unless you're in a big city like San Francisco or New York, a lot of places in the country are like that, where it's, 15 miles. It may take you 15 minutes to get there, but it's still 15 miles.
Right.
And if you're paying $3 a mile, like a taxi is in New York, then that's $45 to go to the mall or wherever it is that you wanted to go. But yeah, Uber sort of opened up this idea of, oh no, you can ride, and it's fine. I love Uber. I love,
well, but the thing is though, when the idea that whole surge thing, how do I know?
Right.
That you're not lying to me. How do I know? What does that mean? I mean, yes, it was like maybe at 6:00 and stuff. So there are not a lot of, Uber drivers around the airport at that time. Cause that's a big, coming back.
There's always Uber drivers around the airport.
I mean, I've never had to wait more than 10 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Never. So they come fast, but then they're saying, and that's a lot of money. So the whole point of Uber was fast, clean, and less expensive. Mm-hmm. But it's not in some incidences.
Right. Some instances, yes.
And in a situation like that where I'm like, my God, I'm so close. You got to be kidding me. And even my son, he takes the Uber to work and it's probably about, oh my God, like 6 miles, not far at all. Yeah. And I see it in the morning. It fluctuates from, $6.95 to $8.95 or $5.90. And I'm like, it's the same distance every single day.
Yeah.
And the same time. So what happened, Uber?
The surge pricing is definitely the biggest downside to both Uber and Lyft. There are other companies, unfortunately, that's not what this question was. It was only between the three of them. But there are companies like, there was one in New York. I can't remember the name of it that doesn't surge. That's their whole thing is we don't do surge pricing.
Well, do you find that, do you do Lyft at all?
I do Lyft, yeah.
Do you find there's a difference between Lyft and Uber?
There didn't used to be. It feels like I'm not sure what has happened, but I always thought that Lyft always seemed to be the cheaper one because they didn't surge or they just didn't tell you about it. But recently I've started to see they're doing the same thing. The reason I still love Uber and Lyft. I use them frequently if I'm going out and I know I'm going to have a cocktail and I'll always do that.
I love that you say cocktail.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Isn't that a girl's?
Or either that or like Don Draper.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like to look, let's be honest,
guys. Just say I'd have a drink.
It's usually a PBR.
Oh yeah, can I have a nice cocktail?
Yeah.
Natty
Cocktail,
Light?
please. Yes.
And glass.
Yeah, and a chilled glass shaped like a friggin' pineapple.
Yeah. You guys got those big glass boots?
Yeah.
Can you fill one of those boots with your lightest beer?
Yeah. Sorry,
I'll have a cocktail, please.
Yeah. That's my cocktail.
My girlfriend will have a cocktail.
Yeah.
What do you have that's not too sweet?
Yeah. But I know in LA it used to be Uber was always $1 a mile. And that was the easy way to think about it was like, okay, it's $1 a mile. Lyft was $1 a mile. Whereas in New York, it was always about $3 a mile.
Because it took you forever to get through that mile. Right.
Yeah. 1 mile would take forever. But it was also because in New York, the taxi lobby was having none of Uber and Lyft when they first came out. And the taxi, yellow cab has a pretty big share of New York's transportation money. And they said, no, the only way that we'll allow Uber and Lyft into New York City is if they do not cost less than a
taxi.
So that's why it's more expensive in New York to take a Uber or Lyft, than it is here. But yeah, even now the surge pricing is, I was telling Hal before you got here I was at the airport and I saw $15 to get from the airport to, wherever it was going. Great. Let's do that. And I saw the guy was like 15 minutes away and I was like, nah, that's too far. I'm going to cancel and try and get another person that's closer. So I hit cancel. I tried to get another person that's closer and it had jumped to, like $30 within 5 minutes. Just because everybody got off the plane. And when everybody got off the plane, they all went for Uber. Yeah. Which is, if you get off a plane, go have a snack. Wait 20 minutes.
That makes sense.
And then text and then order one and it'll be half the price.
Or do you wait till you're outside to order it or do you wait while you're walking outside? Because sometimes if you have to go get your bags then you don't know how long that's going to take. Right. But if you have your bag with you, have you already called it before you checked outside?
What I've started doing lately is I will just get on a shuttle bus. Because it's always cheaper not at the airport if the place they pick you up isn't the airport. So I'll be like, yeah, I'll get on the Holiday Inn bus.
And then where do you go there?
And then I just take the shuttle to there
To the Holiday Inn?
And then I'll call an Uber
and then he lives there.
And then I live there for 2 years.
And then that's
it's
Wait a minute.
Thing.
So you're taking the Holiday, you don't know what Holiday Inn, is the Holiday shuttle bus going towards you?
Well, they're all right around the airport, but for some reason it seems cheaper than picking it up at, I know I sound like both of you are looking at me like I'm a crazy
because I'm misunderstanding. Okay, go on.
You're perfectly understanding.
No, but okay. So you live in North Hollywood.
I live in North Hollywood.
So you're going to say, this says Holiday Inn, but maybe Holiday Inn is going to downtown.
No, it's the shuttles are always the ones right around the airport.
But where is the shuttle taking you?
The shuttle that I pick up at the airport is taking me to either a parking lot or another hotel around the airport or something.
Oh, I
Just
see
that
what you're
ring
saying.
of shuttles.
Okay, so then you take that.
And then when I get to wherever that is, it's always half the price of ordering it from the airport. Always.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always cheaper.
And what happened
Look, these are life hacks.
Okay, yeah. But what happened, you guys, to people helping us? Hi, can you take me to the airport, Judy? Sure, Mindy, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to touch you if you're going to or from the airport.
I know. I used to offer.
How did we all get there? But I remember there was always somebody I could ask. Now I don't even bother.
I know, I don't either. I feel like I'm intruding.
It's horrible.
It's a tough thing.
Because I think people lie to us. Oh, I can't. I got an audition. I know. I mean, I'm serious.
No,
and especially when Uber popped up and stuff, it's kind of like I don't want to hear you say no. So I'm just going to do it on my own and take, an Uber. Cause Uber there is great. It's coming back. Any kind of traffic and anytime, like you said, you get off the air, a lot of people land at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no good way to leave the airport.
Yeah. Here's
no
300 people.
There's even a way to walk out.
Yeah.
Like if there were a tunnel where you could walk out like some Shawshank Redemption escape where you wind up in like a muddy pit, people would
with all of your belongings tied in plastic to your ankle.
Just get out and open to your undershirt into the rain. Everybody would do that.
That's a commercial. Yeah.
You want to get out of there so badly. And
and then my favorite though is, we're all outside and there is just a group of us, calling for them and they're all coming and it's like,
is that mine? Is that
right? And I have to look. Well, it's a Nissan. I don't know what color that is. That? And you're constantly like having to look, and all these people are getting into the. She was here after me, and and you're like, and then you're waiting, and then you're kind of like, Mindy, oh, that's me, And you get, but it's what I mean. It's like such a process.
Yeah, it is. It's. Do you sit in the front or the back? So here's the thing about taxis is that there is
you can't sit in the front, right?
There's an established social contract to the taxi that you're going to sit in the back. Yeah. You may or may not have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then
most likely you don't with taxi drivers.
In New York, you might. I had one of my favorite. I had a conversation with a taxi driver in New York who was saying such crazy stuff that I slyly pulled out my phone and recorded him. And you can
without
hear
him knowing it?
Like, I saw Spider-Man punching a cop. And then he's driving me to Times Square from the village.
That's awesome.
And he's like, the other day I saw a guy jump out of the window and hit on the 20th floor in front of a bunch of tourists.
Oh, jeez. I love that.
And he missed the Times Square of Taxi Driver where it was all peep shows and like live sex and porno theaters.
That's what he missed?
That was his New York. He was like, everybody knew everybody, all the prostitutes, and all the workers.
I love that voice. I love you.
That was what he said. I recorded it. It was like,
awesome.
I'll get a job with this.
Yes.
I'm going to do this one.
And so I'm going to name him Door.
Yeah. This is Door, the taxi driver. But you those characters are great. With an Uber or a Lyft, I used to just sit in the back because that's when somebody's giving you a ride. You don't know them. That's what you do. But then I heard somewhere it's kind of rude to not sit up front. So then I started sitting.
Really? See, I would think that they may not want that.
Yeah, I feel like I always sit in the back because I feel like it's a personal space thing. I'll always have a conversation with them.
Oh, it's always.
Yeah.
Always talk.
And it's usually really interesting people. I had a Lyft driver a couple of days ago who I was going out to have a cocktail.
It's just a drink, Mom.
Yeah.
Just a
Okay.
drink.
Were you getting 2 cocktails on a helmet above your head with straws?
Exactly. One had the mixer in it and one had the booze, but they mixed together in my mouth. And she had lived in LA for 3 days. And she had moved out from drama school and moved to LA 3 days ago. And it's like, we just chatted and she's like, so, you do this too? Well, let's talk. What can you tell me? And so it was just a really fun, you meet interesting people.
And some people don't like to talk. I mean, they really don't. Which it's fine. I think there's some times where I'm just tired and I don't do that much, but I can be a little chatterbox. Plus, I'm very interested in them.
Yeah.
And there was this, older gentleman, this, African-American gentleman and just lovely. Oh, except I had 2 very heavy suitcases. This is when I went to Pensacola.
Uh-huh.
And, so he came to pick me up and I'm dragging my suitcases and out. I said, can you please help me? And he goes, oh, I can't. I'm disabled. I can't put that in the car. And I'm like, what? And he goes, oh, didn't they? I go, I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that. And he's like, yeah, can you see it on my window or something like that? I went, well, I didn't know that until you got here. I go, this is really heavy. So I put it in.
Sure.
And then I get in and he was really, really lovely and stuff. And, wasn't going to, make a big deal about it. But he was like, oh yeah, I hurt my back. I don't know. He went into this whole song and dance and that he does this. Cause I always ask the same things. How long you been doing this?
Sure.
And what's better, to Lyft or Uber?
Yeah, because they often drive
And
for both.
yes, and most of the time they always, this is their second job. This is not a full-time job because nobody could drive this much.
We're a lot of retirees as well.
Right.
Right.
And this guy was like, and then he asked me if I was an actress. And I said yes. And he was like, I knew it. But he makes I don't know, 400,000 or 40,000 a year because he helped write, one of, Justin Timberlake's songs.
Amazing.
What?
Yeah. I mean, and why wouldn't I believe him? I don't know.
Sure.
I totally bought it. What do I know?
Yeah.
The nicest, loveliest man. I've hugged people because I've heard their stories.
Yeah.
I gave one man, he just went on and on and on though, about his girlfriend, she's pregnant, but she wants him to move to New York, but he doesn't want to. And I mean, it was you could tell he needed to vent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was oh, all right. And I'm giving him advice.
Yeah.
And when I left, it was just I wish you a whole lot of luck. You just seem like you're going to be such a great dad, but I don't know, you might have to just take a look at this whole relationship thing again. And he knew it. No, he'd be like, I know.
Look,
I know.
honey, we have to have a conversation. Mindy Sterling said something to me today.
And I don't think he knew that it was me. This was a different one. He did not know. But they get involved. And, but most of them, we all have a story and we're all here trying to make things work, make a living. And, when I think about what they're getting paid, driving all these people around, and I think, wow, I can go in for less than an hour, do a voiceover and make more money in that time than they can in, 20 runs or something.
Insane.
So who am I? I mean, and they're being nice. They clean the car for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's much nicer than a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
It smells a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
You get phone chargers sometimes.
Sometimes they will. If you don't,
for you.
and if you ask, they'll give you the,
Yeah.
some of them will have water, some of them won't, but
Little
they're
candy
all
dish.
very lovely.
Yes.
So I say bravo to them, but I really have a problem with that surcharge thing.
That's the surge pricing is brutal. Where you mentioned the drivers. We've talked a little bit about our experience as passengers in Uber and Lyft and taxis. But we're picking the best one, and I don't think we can leave the drivers out in this.
Let's, before we get to the drivers.
You mean the
Okay.
drivers,
We talk about
meaning
passengers.
if they're good or bad?
The people who are driving. Yeah, we're going to talk about some experiences in just a second.
Okay.
Is it a commercial?
We're going to take a brief break because we're in the Max Fun Drive. This
That's
is where
right.
people-
What does that mean?
It's our
how-
pledge drive.
Yes, this is where people set up contributions that benefit the show directly. We do it
And they
once
give
a
you
year.
money.
They give us
So you
some
can have a
money.
lovely dinner with your wife.
You can have a lovely dinner.
Exactly.
Yes, as solely goes towards one large dinner.
One very large dinner.
Lowry's prime rib with
And
my wife.
maybe Mark will go.
If he's not
So we
busy
can have a
having
cocktail.
So I can have a cocktail.
But we're going to take a brief break and tell you about this year's Max Fun Drive, and then we come back, we'll talk about drivers.
Okay.
Man, this has been a really fun Max Fun Drive. Do you know, Mark, at this point, our show, we got this number updated yesterday. We're recording this on Monday, going out tomorrow. We are at 348 new and upgrading members who have chosen to support our show specifically.
Thank you so much to all of our new and upgrading members. You guys, you have no idea how much this means to us. We appreciate you listening to the show. We appreciate you supporting the show, and we'll keep trying to put out really fun episodes for you. Thank you for that. If you have yet to join the Maximum Fun family, you can do that now at MaximumFun.org/donate. Check that out. It will show you all of the different gifts that we give you as a thank you for joining at different levels. We'll talk about that in the next break. But the main thing you need to remember, MaximumFun.org/donate. And when you get there, select your level you'd like to join at and check the box that says we got this. That's how we know that you are listening to our show, and that's how Maximum Fun knows that you're listening to We Got This as well.
We're also going to talk to you during this break about our personal push goals for our show. But I just want to remind you out there, for the people who already support us and the people who are new this year and who are thinking about coming on board, what your contribution does for us. The money we receive from Max Fun, those contributions, they go directly into equipment for the show. They go into helping us travel to do live shows in other cities. And also they help us, live. If you appreciate the art that people do, this is a great way to support those artists. And it's not something you think about all the time in podcasting, but with Max Fun, we're not one of the biggest shows. We don't have advertisers knocking down our door to get access to us. What we make from the show is solely from contributions from all of you. I think we did one HelloFresh ad once or twice,
which was great. But really our biggest source of income is your generosity. So thank you for what you're doing for We Got This, for the people of the world. And thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for joining the Max Fun team. And This is really helpful to us. So we really appreciate it.
The overall goal for the entire network is 25,000 new and upgrading members. And I know we can get there. We blew it out of the water last year. I think we're going to blow it out of the water again. So we want to make it fun specifically for the people of the world. So we set up stretch goals. We're going to lay them out for you now. We've actually already crushed the first one. That was at 250 new and upgrading members supporting We Got This specifically. So you all are getting a bonus mini-sode. It's a clean slate that Mark and I recorded at Dragon Con this past fall over Labor Day weekend. It is live, unfiltered, with the audience giving us topics we have not prepared in any way, but I think it's really fun. Didn't you think it was fun, Mark?
Oh, I had a great time. It was live on stage. It was snap judgments. We didn't have the time to research anything or have Kate check out things for us and send them our way. It was just these, and they're still decisions for all time. So
exactly.
You got to know these things, right? Right.
Also, at the 500 member level, and we're almost there. I think we're going to get there before Friday pretty easily. But it'll help if you're listening to this right now to go and hit MaximumFun.org/donate and do all the lovely things that Mark told you to do. We have another bonus mini-sode, another clean slate from our live show in New York with special guest Jonathan Colton joining us. That one's really, really fun as well. That's what you get at 500.
Then at the 750 member level, we've done it before. The people of the world love it. So we're going to do it again. You get to overturn one of our rulings. We'll go to the Facebook group and everybody will decide there. You're going to figure out which one you want to overturn, and we will begrudgingly overturn one of our decisions from the last year. I hope it's not one that I fought for.
And I hope it's not one I fought for. It's going to be from the last 12 months, and we will take off of the table Best Superpower because we already re-adjudicated that with special guest Scott Adsit. And I promise you that if we overturn an episode, we will get another top shelf guest to join us for that overturn.
That's right, because we're not going to do it just the two of us. I don't trust us two.
I know. If we got one wrong, I mean, who knows what else? We can't even get into that mindset of what else.
I know. No, we're always right, Hal.
Yes. Always right. Always right.
Then at the 1,000 member level, this is the big one, the 1,000 member level, we will create and distribute to all of our members. We got this, the virtual reality experience.
It's so dumb.
It's so great. I've actually been doing a lot of work in virtual reality in the last 6 months, so I know what I'm doing a little bit in this. And it's really fun. VR stuff is a lot of fun. We can't tell you yet what it is. It's going to be a surprise, and it is going to be spectacular.
I mean, without any specifics, it'll be like the Oasis from Ready, except you'll come out of it an even better person than everybody in Ready Player One comes out of the Oasis.
Yeah. And we will also have Iron Giant in
Iron Giant will be there. That'll be our special guest. Will be the Iron Giant. You'll just hear creaking in the background. Trust us, it's him.
Yeah. With that, thank you. These are our stretch goals. We're going to post all of these so that you know what's coming up and what level we're at. But for now, let's just say thank you again for joining us, the people of the world at the Max Fun family. And let's get back to the episode. What do you say?
Sounds good. All right, we're back.
Oh, hello.
That was fast, right?
Surprise.
Through the magic
I hope you got
audio.
a lot of money from that.
Through the magic of the dog. So, people who listen, so I use a dog clicker to mark
Is that what it is? I need to get one.
It's a dog training clicker.
Where did you get that?
Amazon.
Because you know what I do to my dog?
You just get one of those.
I gotta get one of these.
It's way easier.
But,
Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to give me lots of
I'm going to send you an
links.
Amazon. I'm going to send you an email
I
with a lot
love
of Amazon.
Amazon.
It's the best.
So great.
Oh yeah. Anything
that's-
that you want the next day, it's on your
That
doorstep.
is scary because I'm thinking, how do they do this so fast? Like I want
Robots.
to follow them.
Oh, every building that you've ever seen that's not labeled as something else is Amazon.
Yes.
They're all warehouses.
So is
even
it too,
houses.
But is it too late to get stock in it?
Never too late.
I don't know how you do that.
Are they
but
publicly traded?
I don't know.
I don't know if they are. They probably are.
Look, all I know is Jeff Bezos is the world's richest man.
Yes, he is.
Is he Mr. Amazon?
He is
He's a
Mr. Amazon.
multi-billionaire, yes.
Over $100 billion.
Yes.
And how old was he when he started?
Two.
Two.
I don't
He was
know.
he was a little toddler.
20s or 30s, I think. Something
Don't
like
you
that?
just want
30s
you?
maybe.
I mean, I don't think 2020's ever done a story on him. Somebody needs to do a story on him. I want to find out.
I have really want to get him on this show.
Please, what can
told
I
Hal
do to
about
help?
this.
We've got to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to hear.
Right? What the world's richest man has to say.
I just want to know how it all, share to us what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to turn it into a customer service thing where he comes in and goes, I ordered a bed frame from you. And it showed up damaged. It's a real nightmare
my
getting the
God.
tracking and shipping. And then just let him leave and he's never actually on the show.
There's actually an Amazon return center. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
In Westwood.
Yes.
It's just a big
It's
building.
also, you can also pick stuff up there. It's the
Oh, really?
best. I ordered a hat from Amazon. My wife and I were going to Kauai last year for our anniversary, for our 10-year anniversary. So I was like, I'm going to get a hat that's mesh so it can breathe, but also has the
a big old man hat for your trip to Hawaii.
Totally needed that.
Hawaii. I ordered a hat. It was like the perfect hat. And I get it, open it, and it's too small. So right there on the spot, I order the correct hat, repackage that one, drop it in a return slot. Done deal.
Yeah.
So it's credited back. Like, it doesn't cost any extra money. And the new one was there. It was at my home in a couple of days.
So you went to pick it up?
Yes. Because I had to be up there for something else. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
It's technology being used for good.
It's amazing.
And speaking of technology being used for good.
Yes.
Uber and Lyft have really opened up, to get back to the Uber and Lyft topic, have really opened up this whole, like, Uberification is a word now that people, it means.
What?
Uberification?
Uberification.
Uberization, which means.
I'm glad I asked you to repeat it because you
Right?
don't even know what you said.
No, I don't know what I'm
Where
talking
does it say
about.
that?
It's right here under history.
Oh, all
We
right.
thanks to Kate McManus for our beautiful research package.
Uberification. Okay.
The whole idea of a sharing economy was basically built by Uber with this idea.
And the
Okay.
gig economy as
And
well.
the gig economy, yeah. So it has done a lot of great things, but one thing that it hasn't been great with is dealing with its employees, its drivers. That's what I meant when we were going to the break. is we are all passengers. None of the three of us have ever driven for Lyft or Uber, but I know that for drivers, it's an uphill battle. It's a great way to make some extra money, but I know that both companies have really been in the news for not for everyone being an independent contractor. That's that gig economy. That's the dark underbelly of the gig economy, is that you're an independent contractor. It's your car. You have no benefits. You are paying for gas.
No, I hear it's not. It really, and it is interesting because I do ask them like, so, I mean, what, are they good to you? Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. And they complain. And that's why I feel for them because, they're trying to make some extra money, but the Mr. Uber and Mr. Lyft, are really greedy and being nasty. So how do we fight that?
Yeah,
that's the issue. And then the other level for me is like, I feel very deeply for everybody who's having a tough time. Mm-hmm. There are other times where I just want to get to the airport and not like
talk about
anything like, but to be fair, I ask because that's one of the things you ask is how is it driving? Because you hear these horror stories and they're like,
okay, I have another question.
Great. They change things and don't tell us and this and that. I'm like, well, I feel terrible. I'm part of the problem by driving this car with either one.
Do you all rate them and give tips?
Always
okay.
5 stars.
There was a time in the beginning of Uber where I was giving cash tips because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. Then somebody said, "Oh no, it's already included." Then I stopped, but that wasn't true.
They were just being told that they were getting tips.
I don't know, but
being told that by somebody.
Somebody said, "Oh yeah, Uber, it's already included in your account and stuff." Oh, all right.
Because Uber wants you to feel like you're saving money, like you don't have to tip.
Then I was appalled to find out that was wrong. I was so angry, and but I have this question now because my son shares an Uber account with me, and he doesn't rate them. And he doesn't tip them. Oh. So I've said to him, we do not share the same politics. I have said to him, well, it's under my account. So that's going to reflect about me because I always do it. No, it's not. They don't see it, Mom. They don't see it. Well, somebody must see it. And how will they know? Because it's not your name may be attached to it, but I'm the one paying the bill. So am I going to be looked at as a horrible passenger?
Yeah.
I am. That's my
rating?
Question is, am I?
You may be.
Can you see what your rating is?
Yes, you can. In Uber,
really?
In Uber you can. And I think in Lyft you may be able to as well.
I want to know what my rating is.
But if you...
Can we take a pause?
Yeah, let's not pause. Let's do it right here.
I left my phone in the car, so you guys get yours. Whatever mine is.
Why would you leave your phone in the car? Do you not go everywhere with your phone? Do you not go to the bathroom with your phone?
I wanted to spend time with you two.
Whatever.
So what do we look under now?
All right, so you open the Uber app, which I've done, and then you click on the little hamburger, which are those 3 lines on the top left.
Why is that called a hamburger?
Because it looks like a hamburger. It's a bun.
Is this internet lingo?
I've never heard that.
I've never heard it called a hamburger.
I've never heard it.
See, and it says your name, and then it gives your star rating. So I'm 4.83 out of 5.
I'm 4.73.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, but I could be better.
You could be better.
Because I'm a great passenger. So my question then, what I have to do, since my son will not, is because I get it comes up on my thing. So I will just rate them 10. Because I'm sure or 5, whatever it is. I'm sure they're fine. Yes. My son won't talk to anybody. And then I have to tip them.
Yeah. Well, and there's a tit for tat in it where they need a good rating from you. So they can't.
Oh, I feel horrible now.
Because and I forget what the number is, there is a number under which an Uber driver cannot fall. And if they fall below that, then they cannot drive for Uber anymore.
Really?
And
see, now here, this is probably from not today, because he didn't do it today.
But there's a recent
This is from
one.
yesterday, so now I have to do that.
Your
okay,
rating.
this is add a tip for Kamaljit. Give a compliment. What's that?
Oh, that's, you can say what you liked about their driving.
No. You took my son. Oh, and then now I don't know how much it was. It's usually between 5 to 3, 4, 5.
In those cases, I usually do the middle. I go $3. Because if it's a $3, here's the thing. If
All right,
you
I've done it.
If you take a short ride,
That was yesterday.
I was in New York for like a week this past fall, and I started at like 4.86 or whatever. And then for everybody, I gave like a 5-star, and they would start asking. They're like, "Don't forget 5 stars, 5 stars."
Oh, I never got.
They're like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then I noticed my rating was going down.
Why?
Because I was taking shorter trips. I think if somebody's like, "Oh, I don't want to drive somebody from here to there," even though it's not like I hid. Like they showed up and I was like, I just want you to take me 2 blocks, sucker.
Yeah.
Like they knew what
they know where you're going.
Yeah. I'm very nice. Like I am overly I want to be interested in them. I don't talk about myself at all. Not like that would be like, this guy talked about himself too much. But like I'm like, I want to know about you and be encouraging and thank you and everything. Not a problem at all. I'm grateful for I'm acting like I have not paid for it at all. Like I'm just grateful this person.
Yes, thank you for being so nice to me.
And I tip well. But then the rating would go like down and then up, and then somebody would like, you can tell, like I know I gave them 5 stars. They didn't give me 5 stars.
Well, the thing is, they're going to give my son, they'll give it to me because I'm the one that's.
Because you're on the account.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say at this point, and I know we have other criteria to discuss, that taxis will not win?
I don't know.
Because they smell and by and large I've had very few pleasant experiences as a taxi driver.
Let me go back to one thing real quick before we move over to this, because this seems like a big topic shift.
Sure.
I have to do a quick mea culpa that I have been repaired on recently. I did not realize that what I was doing was wrong. With
Ubers and Lyfts?
With Ubers and Lyfts. Because I would always give, and I know you guys are both going to hate me for this, and every listener is going to hate me.
You want a cocktail right now?
I need a cocktail right now. Hal, do you have any beer? I default to 4, or had defaulted to 4 stars. Why? Because I want the exceptional ones to get the 5s. So I was always like, everyone gets a 4-star. If they got me to a place, if they got me from point A to point B, you get 4 stars. If you are extra kind, you have the chargers and you like do all the little extra perks here and there. We get into a great conversation. Those were my 5s.
Right.
But I realized that no, the default is 5. And if anything is wrong, then
But that's okay. And you know what? You're probably not the only one to think that way. I think a lot of people, because even when I would see it, it's like you said, it's like, well, it's got to be somebody that just thinks I'm for me to give them, 5. Yeah. But no, it is about, unless, and we know, unless they're driving fast, unless they're rude, unless they're playing horrible music and don't ask you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like this or something else?
See, driving fast to me though, that's going to get your star rating upped.
Even if it's Need for Speed.
No, I don't mean, but I mean like I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah. You have to feel safe.
If I get you're going to get 5 stars if you have to feel safe. Yes. But if I get in a car and I'm like, hey, I'm running late, and they get me where I'm going to be on time.
That's different. Yeah. I'm talking about somebody that, you want to go.
Just they're a reckless driver.
Yeah, you can slow down.
I would say by and large, the most reckless drivers I've experienced have been taxi drivers. And the only time I've ever had to yell at a driver and tell them to leave before we even departed was a taxi driver who I called, came to our place in Playa del Rey. My wife was not ready to leave yet, but she was on her way down. But we needed to get to the airport. So the guy got there. I said, I'm sorry, my wife's running a little behind. It's going to be a few minutes. And he started giving me attitude immediately. And I was not in a good mood to begin with.
Yeah.
Because you're traveling.
And we had already argued about the fact that he wasn't ready yet. And I unloaded on him. I was like, get the F out of here. If you don't want to be here right now and you're going to be get out. I don't want you here.
Yeah.
And then he backpedaled a little bit, but I was like, hit the bricks, pal.
Well, I said once to a taxi driver, we were coming, I guess on Lincoln, and he, there was a car in front of him, and he kept beeping at this car to move. And I said, it's so weird about these, horns, because when somebody beeps at you, what is the one thing that you want to do? You don't want to give them anything. You're not going to go. You're like pissed off. You want, oh yeah.
Watch me go slow.
So by beeping at him, do you think he's going to be annoyed at you, or do you think that he's going to go, oops, sorry, and go? And I swear to God, I think I was nicer speaking to him, but I was just making a fact. I hate horns. And he just kind of rumbled.
There's a difference, though, I feel like, between New York and LA in this regard.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just moved back from 3 years in New York City, and living there, the honking is just, you have to realize there's nothing personal. It's just, hey, go out of my way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
like,
everybody's in much more of a hurry.
It's nothing personal.
No.
You're in my way. Excuse me.
Yes, exactly.
Say, excuse me loudly and forcefully. I feel like that's what horn honking is in New York.
Totally.
Loud, assertive, non-personal. Excuse me.
But I wish we had a horn. You had one that was like for, I don't know, somebody that's, running out in the middle of the street and you're like, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
And then a little one, when somebody's, and they're, going like this, and it's because I don't know why, but we do. When somebody honks, don't you want to go, oh, really? Yeah, I'm going to take my time. It's like, no, you're on the wrong, Mindy. But, if you could just have that little, I try to do it little so it's not so alarming. Just that little one.
Yeah.
But no, they're all.
Yeah, the light's green.
Yeah.
I'll give people like a certain amount of time. When it's like,
you get 5 seconds.
It's been 5 seconds, and then I'm not going to give you a nice honk. And if I see you on your phone, you're not getting 5 seconds. Because you're not driving.
But the best part of our, road rage, and I have it.
Yeah.
We all do the same shit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We are all, Mindy, you do this all the time. Every one of us. So the fact that we get pissed off when somebody does a horn, I mean, it's so silly.
Can you believe she was on her phone? I'm going to tweet about that.
Well, the things that bother us the most about other people are the things that bother us the most about ourselves.
And thank you, Mom. Yes.
Now everybody go get a cocktail.
And by cocktail, I mean a milk carton and a graham cracker.
Get
everything's a cocktail now.
Yeah. Does anybody sitting at this table think that taxis should win?
No, I think taxis are worth talking about. I will give you a specific example.
Of good or bad?
Of good.
Reverend Jim.
And taxis. And I realize that there was a huge public outcry and this was rectified. But this was, the day that, the travel ban happened. My roommate and some friends and I, the first thing we did was we saw that this travel ban had gone through. We packed up, a snack and we got on the train and we went straight to JFK Airport. Where, I don't know if you ever saw the pictures of the giant crowd massed at JFK Airport. Yeah. We were smack dab in the middle of that crowd. And, the taxi drivers showed up. They went into the parking structure and they unfurled a big banner that was like their union taxi driver banner. And they announced, we're not picking anyone up at JFK Airport. We're not gonna, we're calling a boycott of JFK.
Right.
And in that moment, Uber said, no surge pricing. We're dropping prices for the next few hours. Anyone who wants to leave JFK Airport, call Uber. Don't call a taxi. So they undercut not only the taxi drivers, but an entire movement. And I feel like that's, as passengers, I think you can eliminate taxis. But thinking from the driver's point of view, taxi people are employees. They have a pension. They have benefits.
So they have more. There's more given to them than an Uber driver or Lyft.
They're not independent contractors. So for those reasons alone, I don't want to eliminate taxis off of this just yet.
All right.
What do you think?
I mean,
So I didn't mean to get on my union soapbox.
But you know what? I mean, that's a good thing to hear. That absolutely makes sense.
It is. I'm in a place where I just feel like the taxi's time has come and gone, and their attempt to catch up to it, that is a great act to carry out, which I think is great. I just think they've been left behind. And the idea
in this economy,
taxi magic or whatever that app has become, that is the worst.
Oh,
What is that?
Taxi Magic is
Taxi Magic has been rebranded as something else.
Curb. I like Curb. I used Curb in New York all the time.
What is
Curb is
Curb?
basically it's basically Uber but for taxis in New York. I don't know if they do it in multiple
I used to use
cities.
it out here, and then they updated it to Curb, and it didn't stop working for me.
It
Might have been me. Maybe it was me.
And I don't know if they do it here, but in New York they do. One of your choices on Uber is taxi. So all of the taxis are also signed up with this same service. So they're making attempts to use the same technology.
That's weird.
So you can actually call rather than just standing on the street and hailing, because as a passenger, that is a giant pain when you walk out of a building and every yellow car that drives by, the light is off on top. The light being on, meaning that they're open.
I've also had people pull up when I'm in like Midtown and I need to get to JFK, and they're like, nope, and they leave. With a service where you're booking it ahead of time and they know where you're going and they come and get you, that's way better than having
which
to hold
Curb
down
does.
a car. Yes.
I just don't want to discount taxis immediately, because I think for the passengers, Uber and Lyft are going to beat taxis hands down. But I think taxis have a way bigger upper hand as far as the drivers.
Well, I want everyone to be happy.
We have to find something to break the tie. Why don't we take one more break?
Great.
To talk about Max Fun Drive one more time, and then we come back, we'll figure this out.
Great.
Oh, okay.
We'll solve it.
We're going to solve this
Figure it out.
problem.
We're on it. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. This is it. We're in week 2. This is the home stretch of Max Fun Drive.
That's right. You guys are doing so great.
Fantastic. We've had so many people, the outpouring on social media, all of the new members and all the new, the upgrading members as well. You warm the chambers of our hearts with your generosity.
And we cannot thank you enough, so we won't even try. We will just say one great big thank you. Now, to those of you who have not joined the Maximum Fun family yet, what are you waiting for? It's the Max Fun Drive. This is the time of year when you can join Max Fun and get all kinds of great goodies along the way. Let's tell you about some of them. If you join Max Fun at $5 per month, you're going to get some amazing bonus content, not only from our show, but from every show on the network. You'll unlock a way to grab it online. I don't even know how it works, but you're going to get it.
That's right. You can show off your technological prowess in a way that Mark never can by getting a hold of this bonus content. At the $10 per month level, let's say you either want to jump in at $10 or you've been at $5 and you're doing a little bit better at your job and you're like, I want to blow a little bit extra money. I want to support these podcasts that are so important to me. I want to throw an extra $5 in. At that level, you get a Drive exclusive enamel pin designed by Megan Lynn Cott. And there are designs, brand new designs for every Max Fun show. So, if you were a contributor last year and you're upgrading again, it's a whole new crop of pins. I love ours. It looks like a little blue ribbon that you would get at like the county fair. It says world-class decision maker, which is what we consider ourselves to be. And by extension, all the people who listen and obey our ridiculous edicts.
That's right. And where else are you going to be able to get a blue ribbon without being the prized hen at the county fair or by being a can of beer?
There's nowhere else you can be.
Right? If there's any cans of beer out there,
and if
come on over, guys.
You've been doing better at your job and you have a little bit of extra income, now's the time to upgrade that membership. In fact, you could do it at the $20 level. Mark, can I tell them what's at $20?
Oh, I'm very excited about this one. Go ahead.
Max Fun Family Cookbook. It's curated for you by Max Fun hosts. All of us have donated recipes from our personal stores, and it contains dozens of them, cocktails, desserts, everything in between. Plus, if you like cookies, and I like cookies, Mark, you like cookies.
Sure. I love
you get
cookies.
A bonus set of handsome, space-themed cookie cutters that includes, of course, the signature Max Fun rocket. So you can make little rocket cookies. And that's a good conversation starter for people who are not listening to your favorite Max Fun show. They're like, hey, what's that? Oh, this rocket? It's from Max Fun, the greatest podcast on earth that are all listener supported by people like me. I'm one of the people who keeps these shows going.
That's right. And you know what people are going to say after that? Wow, that cookie cutter is handsome. Like John Hamm level handsome.
Has that cookie cutter been brushing its hair differently? That is a handsome cookie cutter.
Did that cookie cutter get LASIK?
You know, Mark, once that cookie cutter took its glasses off and the light realized how handsome it was.
At the $35 level, you will not only receive everything at the previous levels. We got to reiterate that. You're going to get all this stuff as you move up. At the $35 per month level, you will receive the Max Fun Rocket Carafe. Remember that amazing logo from Max Fun that you've seen a million times that you love? You can get that on a beautiful glass carafe to throw parties with. And when you bring out a carafe full of your favorite Chardonnay or Zinfandel or Beaujolais or weird that those are the only three. I'm a beer
Pabst
guy.
Blue Ribbon.
Or you can fill it with Pabst Blue Ribbon, or you can fill it with lemonade like my friend Hal. And you will get this beautiful Rocket Cafe at the $35 per month level.
A word about this. These gifts are all great, and I know people get excited about them, which is awesome. But the greatest part about becoming a member of Max Fun is that feeling of ownership and becoming a tighter member of the community and really understanding that you're one of the people who's supporting a podcast that maybe gets you through a workout at the gym if you're having a tough time, or gets you through your commute, or just if you're having a rough time. So many people have come to Mark and me to tell us, like, your show helped get me through a rough time. And that is
the greatest gift we can get doing this show.
You know, if you're somebody who right now is not able to become a Max Fun member, that's okay. You can tell other people about it. You can help promote it. But for the people, you know, there are also people this year who have said, hey, I got an adult job and now I can finally give you the support that I feel you deserve. Like, it's all good. It's just a great time these 2 weeks to remember why we do what we do behind these microphones and the impact it has on your lives. And that means so much to us. And we thank everybody who has been a member and will become a member and is upgrading their membership this year. We cannot thank you enough. And now we're going to tell you how to do it.
That's right. All you have to do is go to MaximumFun.org/donate, and it will guide you through from there. You see all of the different levels that you can join and all the special gifts that we give you to say thank you for that. And make sure when you go visit MaximumFun.org/donate and join the Max Fun family that you check the box that says we got this. That lets us know that you're listeners to our show, and more importantly, it lets the people at Maximum Fun know that you're listening to our show. So we can, you know, we always have a contest going on every year, and don't let us get beaten by tights and fights.
Yeah, I heard the one host of that show, Hal, is a real jerk about it.
Real jerk.
But here's the other reason why you need to check the shows that you love, and we appreciate it, of course, if you check us. That's the only way Max Fun will know to kick a portion of your contribution towards us. So that is, if you want to benefit us directly with your membership, make sure that you select our show. Do it now. You are thinking about it now. You're excited about it now. This is the time to do it.
MaximumFun.org/donate. Let's get back to the episode, and thank you. Thank you.
We're back.
Whew, that was quite a discussion we just had.
It was very long. I wish we had recorded it.
I know.
We didn't.
Oh,
didn't.
dang.
I don't even remember what topic we were on. We went through so many.
Oh,
I don't know,
Lordy.
but I feel
Hours.
like I've grown as a person
Yeah.
immensely. If only people could have heard that.
Wow.
Everyone else would have grown as a person too.
Dang.
Anyway,
I know.
it's been 48 hours. We've been
No one
thinking
has
about it.
moved, eaten, peed, or showered.
No. We're just a living
Yeah.
art exhibit.
Jen is in the bedroom hiding out, didn't want to make noise, and God knows what's been going on for the last 2 days in there. She could have built a tower out of bed sheets and climbed out the window. Who knows?
Listen, we've all played The Sims and walled somebody in with no doors. We all know exactly what it is.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes.
Like the
I don't
Task
know
of
what that is.
Amontillado
The
version?
Sims is a game where you...
It's people.
It's people.
Yeah.
Sim people. And their language is like, you know, the old improv thing of like, somebody's going to speak gibberish and somebody will interpret. Well, they all just speak gibberish. Like, and you build a house for them and build a life. You put things in it for them. They hopefully go get a job. They meet people and you see who they have interest in. You try to get them involved in a courtship and get them into a relationship.
So this is a video game that you sort of put together their lives.
Yes,
Yeah.
you make a simulated life. But what you can also do, Or
if you're a terrible person like Hal, you can do this.
Let's say, as their benevolent creator, you've given them every comfort and a job and somebody and food and extra, like it means to live a happy life, and they just can't get it together. You wait till they go into a room, then you remove the door, and then you press fast forward.
And what happens?
Watch them. They wander around. They go. They bang on the wall. Eventually, they go to the bathroom in the corner, and then they die and turn into a skeleton. This is what happens.
This is a game that you enjoy, Hal?
You have fun doing this?
I haven't played it in years, but yes, eventually.
Yeah, when you were like, what, 12? How?
I wish I was that young.
I felt bad when I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon and built my own roller coaster
that just exploded.
And then I accidentally killed a bunch of people on this roller coaster.
But it wasn't like intentional. He's intentional.
I was deliberately doing it. I was mortified when I was like, I'm going to have to do something to repair my public image after this horrific thing that just happened.
Oh,
Not to mention all of these Sims people just died. Listen, at least they didn't die peeing in a corner.
Yes.
If you're out there and you played Sims and you did not do this, come on.
How?
You're lying. Everybody did.
So when you did it, did you just laugh?
Because it's so ridiculous.
Did you wait until they were almost dead and then ever just put a door in and then they're like, oh, and then they run
sometimes.
out?
But
emaciated.
But initially play the game, I'm always like, and this is where I was.
It's like torture. You're torturing
No wonder Hal wants to get rid of the taxis, the ones who take care of their people.
Listen, this is why I'm in therapy. My earliest one I was like, maybe with this, like they can have, like they'll work out and be in good shape and they'll meet somebody and be happy. Like, I wonder if I can create conditions for that.
Sure.
And then, but also you're playing a game. That's the whole game, is like, can they have the best possible life? And then at a certain point, you're like, well, what is happening? I've done, much like real life, I've done everything right, but this hasn't broken my way.
Right.
But in the game, you're just like, all right.
I don't have to.
All right. Here comes Godzilla. Let's get crazy. Look, maybe I'm a terrible person.
Well, let's see which one of these you pick.
Taxis. How's that?
I feel like what we need to do is differentiate Lyft and Uber, because we have Uber versus Lyft versus taxis.
Yes.
Right.
And right now we haven't really done any delineation between Uber and Lyft.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. Why do some people pick Uber and why do some people pick Lyft?
I feel like there are a lot of people who pick Lyft for ethical reasons, because they feel like Uber's certainly a sketchy has done sketchy stuff.
Right.
In terms of how they treat their employees,
right.
in terms of driver safety, and then the other way around, passenger safety. There are Ubers I've gotten into or almost gotten into that have not felt particularly safe.
Really?
There are others that were like the most pleasant ride experience I've ever had. And not even, I've done Uber Black, I've done Uber, we've done the really giant ones before when there were a bunch of us traveling somewhere doing a show. But Lyft is also,
Lyft isn't great with their drivers. They're just a smaller company, so there aren't as many giant publicized things. And they never had a CEO who was one giant foot in one giant mouth permanently.
Yeah.
But they still had some of the same ethical problems. That said, Lyft, if my memory serves correctly, Lyft basically just took Uber's idea and did it a couple of years later as a response to Uber. But they had
what are they doing different? Like, so in other words,
well, they introduced innovations that Uber, I think, has since added on. Tipping was the big one. Lyft at the very beginning, there was no button to add a tip to Uber until Lyft had a button that you could add a tip.
Right.
There was no ride sharing until there was no Uber Pool until there was Lyft Line.
Lyft did that. Oh, okay.
I think if I'm correct, I think Lyft Line started first and then Uber Pool happened after.
What's it called? Lyft what?
Lyft Line.
Lyft Line.
Which is where you can ride with other people, which I will always do.
I don't want to do that.
I always do it.
I don't know.
It's cheaper, and I actually met some folks that I'm now Instagram buddies with because we had a fun ride together.
Oh, you can be Instagram buddies with anybody. You don't have to meet them.
Yeah.
You
don't have to share a car
I'm gonna just squash your
guys have
social life.
Instagram buddies with Chris Pratt. Meaning I just followed a person on Instagram.
No, you know what though? My son did that. He did carpool a couple of times, and he doesn't really talk to people, when he's in that situation.
Yeah.
But he did it. I don't know if he did it because it was cheaper, for me.
It can be about half the price.
But for some reason, I would either rather be quiet or I just want to talk one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 100%.
But, and then what else?
Well,
that's interesting. I didn't realize Lyft was the first to introduce those things.
Well, Lyft was definitely the first to introduce tipping.
Wow. Okay.
Which to me just is inches them a little past Uber in we started off by caring more about our drivers. And Uber had to kind of be bullied
well, that's what people say when I ask people, which one do you like better, Uber or Lyft? The drivers who do both think, well, Lyft is better because they treat their employees better.
Then that to me settles that Lyft beats Uber.
Yeah.
I will say something. It took me a long time to ride a Lyft, and the reason why is when Lyft started, now they all have those lights that stick to the inside.
Right.
But they used to have gross, furry,
the big furry pink mustache.
And they got dirty immediately. And also the implication is that you're taking a mustache ride.
It creeped me out.
I never even thought about that.
That is like the Uber, that is Uber creepy.
Yeah.
Just the mustache thing was just so juvenile.
It was a gimmick.
I hated it. I hated it too.
Yeah.
And I never understood still the Uber sign. It's like a C, right?
Yes.
What does that mean?
U. I thought it was the U with the little square in the middle.
The U's on its side.
No, U's like that. This is sort of like this.
Yeah.
I know the difference between a U and a C.
Well, you said it was a U, but it wasn't a U.
Yeah, look at it.
Oh yeah, it's a backwards
C.
C. Well, that's a backwards C.
What on
And
earth
it's
is
not
that?
even so much a C. It's a circle with a little line.
Yeah, it's a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
So I don't
It's a white table that's holding an Apple TV. Viewed from a bird's eye view.
And Lyft says Lyft.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Uber say Uber?
It has better branding. Is this part of your tight 10? The Uber Lyft tight 10 that you do? What's the deal with Uber?
Yes,
Why doesn't
yes,
it just
yes,
say
yes.
Uber? All the time.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
But I think that the ethical stuff and these little things, I do think that tips Lyft for me.
Yeah, I agree.
But Uber is in twice as many cities. Lyft is in 300 cities.
and
Uber is in 633 around the world.
So you have both on your phone, right?
I do. Yes.
What do you usually go to first?
I do Uber because that's what I started with.
I default to Lyft.
I've recently started taking Lyfts.
Mm-hmm.
I should try.
And I enjoy it. Lyft is great.
I'm calling someone. Don't you hate that? I don't know who that was.
Hello, Lyft.
No, it's probably someone that called me that I don't know. No, I think because my son uses Uber all the time, and then it's something I just go to, or if I'm going somewhere with him, it'd be like, Max, can you just get Uber? Mm-hmm. But I should try to do Lyft a little bit.
I feel like Uber is the Kleenex of the two.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or the Q-tip. Like most people say, we'll just Uber there. Like a lot of people, but
it's just because I think because it was first.
Yeah. I think so.
They're very well branded, even with their weird
I agree.
logo.
I totally agree. Yeah.
So if we're going to eliminate one of the two of them.
Oh, do we have to eliminate something?
Well, we've eventually got to get down to just one. There's got to be one winner.
Oh, I see. Best of, it's one winner.
It's going to be one. And it's decided once and for all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I feel weird if I say Lyft because I get it. Mm-hmm. But what if I didn't use Lyft? Then am I a hypocrite?
No, because you didn't know until today.
Right. And if anybody's following you around, just call the police.
Yes, really. I don't want anybody to pay attention to me.
You call 911.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten into a car and been recognized?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is that like?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because they're very nice.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I love it. Yeah. Because we'll be talking or something, and then I'll say, what do you do? And I go, I'm an actress. And then I knew it. And then, so I've had people like, I want to take a picture with you if you don't mind. You go, no.
It happened when we were at the airport leaving Pensacon.
Yes. So, yes. So I like it and stuff. But, otherwise I probably wouldn't be taking these things if I didn't want to be seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you're going to get into a car with a stranger and trust him to take you somewhere and they recognize you, get off. I mean, you're going to have to say yes and be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Do you know people that are not? You don't have to say anything.
I don't.
Yeah. Good.
No, I mean,
neither do we. Neither do we.
I mean, no one personal, that I can think of, but I'm sure there are people.
Yeah, but you don't hang out with those people.
No.
You hang out with the cool, funny comedy people
Yes,
that are all nice to everybody.
Yes.
That's
Yes, I do.
All right. So I'm fine
what do you
saying,
think?
let's say Lyft.
Of the two.
I think we should, because I think Mark made a really good point about that tipping thing, because I was appalled by that in the very beginning, that they were going, oh, well, yeah. Oh, no, first it was, like he said, it was, no, we don't take tips. And I was like, well, that should not be. And I would give tips. So I don't want that. If that's how they handle their business. Right. And I have heard horrible things about the guy that owns it. So, and hopefully he will learn from that and, fix it.
He does seem to let the market decide, like he was on the advisory council and then everybody was like, no, we don't want you involved with this president at all.
Oh,
and he was
that's
like,
right.
Oh, okay.
You're
so
right.
he eventually quit.
Yeah,
Because
he knows he's going to lose a lot of money.
I feel like for all of them, they're all business people, but I feel like he's particularly susceptible to backlash.
You're right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
All totally agree.
So Lyft beats Uber. So now it's Lyft versus taxis. It's tough
Which one is the best? That's what we're looking at?
we have the ultimate winner of the two.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at not like you feel bad for the taxi drivers, but if you have a choice between a taxi and a Lyft, unless Lyft does that surge prices, I'm going to take a taxi from the airport, then it probably should be Lyft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like
I'm going to try Lyft next.
I don't drive. I consume. So as a consumer, I prefer Lyft to taxis.
Yeah. I'm going to say Lyft.
But make them employees, guys.
I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Please
it's Lyft.
do.
I'm going to make my at the end of every show, I make our declaration.
All right. And then what does Mark do?
I sit and listen.
One tier will drop. Okay, got it.
One tier will drop.
Okay.
People of the world, here's why it's Lyft over taxis in particular. Almost every time I ride in a taxi, that person does not want to take me anywhere. Like, they seem very miserable to be a taxi driver. I've discovered that. By and large, I know that I'm painting with broad strokes here.
No, but if that is your experience, you can't,
This has been my experience with the Lyft drivers that I've been with. Because it's the gig economy, because this is something they're choosing to do to make money.
Right.
It seems to me that somebody who is driving in that capacity enjoys it to a much larger extent. There's something to like, hey, I'm doing this. I get to meet people. It's easy for me to do on my way home or on the weekend. I just had a kid. So there's sort of like a joy and a freedom to it because they get to decide. That's one of the things about not being an employee, being an independent contractor is I could work 100 hours in a week or I could work 3 hours in a week. It is up to me.
But 100%. It's also the taxi drivers are older. They've been doing it forever.
Yes.
Okay. And they're miserable or they're, bitter or they're always seem to be having a bad day. And not all of them. Some of them have been very, very lovely. And so, but they feel, you feel like, oh God, you have a horrible job. I'm so sorry. And you're not enjoying it.
Yes.
And which is understandable because they do it all day long. That is their sole job. And a Lyft and an Uber, it's part-time. They do when they want to. None of them have taken it on to go, it's an 8-hour gig for me.
And even if they do, they've chosen to do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I like the money.
You're right.
And
that makes sense. So I think the winner is
it's Lyft.
Lyft.
Asked and answered.
Asked and answered.
Mindy, thank you for coming to my home.
Well, thank you. You're on the west side. Always works for me.
West side's the best side.
I knew when I was like, hey, where would you rather record? North right Hollywood, near where you live or an hour from where you live?
No, this always is nice.
Tell everybody where they can find you, anything you want to plug that they should listen to or anything.
Okay. My Instagram, which I'm not very good with, but you can still follow me, is Mindy Ster, Ster, like I couldn't finish the Sterling because somebody else must have had it.
Or you're the Minister.
Yeah, Minister. And then, my Twitter, which I'm not very good at, is Ms. MS Mindy Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, what else am I doing? I'm I have 2 episodes of The Goldbergs like coming out within this month and next month.
That's very exciting. That show's a lot
It's
of
really
fun.
cute and fun. Really fun recurring in that.
That show takes place in the neighborhood where I grew up, and I knew Adam when we were both kids.
Oh, you're
So I
kidding.
see all of the things on that show. I'm like, oh,
It's literally
that's from
your childhood.
The school where I went, Abington Friends School, is a Quaker school in Jenkintown, which is where they lived. Which is where the
Oh
Goldbergs
my
lived.
God.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a fun show to do. I'm loving it to death. And then I just did an episode of Ghosted with Adam Scott and
Craig Robinson.
Yeah. So I'm not sure when that will air. And just little things here and there. But don't follow me to my car.
Don't unless you like a healthy dose of mace.
Yeah.
Mace cocktail.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us.
Oh my God. Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime you want to do it again, let us know. You are welcome
West
back.
Side.
Woo woo.
Ooh, let me know. Give me another list.
That's it. And hey, Frank Doodle Willis, I know it's
Thank
really
you,
Bruce
Frank.
Willis. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, it's Bruce Willis. Bruce, we're such huge fans, dude. We're
Can you
huge fans.
imagine?
If it was really,
Yes,
yeah,
we're
Bruce
really-
Willis, huge fan. Of
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
We don't know. He could
who's
be.
listening. But
He's like, I want him to talk about Uber.
yeah.
I love that.
This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets, or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
You can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or go to facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Come talk to us about ride sharing and apps and people and cars. And thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus for this awesome information that you had for us, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks as always to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song respectively. And thank you to you, our listeners, for giving us the opportunity to sit here today with Mindy Sterling and just chat and have a great time. Also, your driver is here. You have to be downstairs in 5 minutes.
I gotta
or
go. I gotta
He's
go.
going to be
oh my
leaving.
goodness.
Okay.
For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.